Hello and welcome to another On Point review. I am John Pointer, and I am joined once again with my special co-host Atticus Fabergé.
Hello, yes, I'm Dr. Atticus Fabergé. I'm a professional doctor, not a professional of the movie industry. I simply know a lot about the movie industry. I'm an enthusiast and an expert.
Yes, and we're talking today about Call of the Wild. It just came out, and I thought it was hilarious, actually. What were your thoughts?
I certainly had a chuckle or two, as was, you're mentioning just now on your point, but to be honest, I have quite a commendation to give to the animal trainers of this film.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. That young dog was able to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. The movie reminded me a lot of Homeward Bound. It's a movie that I really enjoyed when I was growing up. I actually rented the movie and saw it with my grandfather just 2 days before he passed away.
My condolences.
Thank you. It's always sort of a movie that holds a special place in my heart. This movie really kind of harkens back to that a lot, and it was really enjoyable to watch. I love. This is spoiler free, by the way.
We're not here to tell you the plot of the film. You should be seeing the film before you listen to an intricate review of the film after the fact.
But we're still gonna keep it spoiler free just in case you haven't seen it.
Absolutely spoiler free.
I love that scene where Harrison Ford's character, he comes home and the dog is making a pie, and he says in his gruff Harrison Ford, what's going on here? And the dog panics and accidentally hits him in the face with the pie.
As I said, I am astounded what they were able to teach this young dog to do. In my day, it was a day's work just to get a dog to walk from one side of the saloon to the other side of the parlor, and now they have them making pies and throwing them, making eye contact with humans, something a dog should never do. It was amazing.
Right, and later on, he has to smuggle the dog onto the train, and then the train conductor catches them, and he hits him in the face with another pie.
I like a good, what they used to say in vaudeville. You might not know this as a layman, dear listener, but that's what they call a running gag, and I'm always up for a good running gag.
Yeah, but it's true what you say though. Like animal training, you ever watch these old sitcoms in the 90s where they had dogs? They couldn't get the dogs to do anything. If they wanted to make it all those shows with talking dogs, if they want to make it look like a dog's talking, they had to feed it a treat off screen and then quickly shove the camera in its face while it's chewing and then voice over it. It's it's
absolutely deplorable. As a professional practicing doctor, if you're giving a dog that many treats for the number of takes those sitcoms needed, that's how some of those dogs are no longer with us today.
Right. So how do you think these animal trainers get this performance out of this dog? Because it's kind of mind blowing.
I'm a doctor professionally and by trade, but with my knowledge of dog training and veterinary practices in the parallel, it's simply a case of the D word, discipline.
Okay.
Lots and lots of training and discipline.
So, what were some standout scenes for you? What did you think made this movie well?
I was positively on the edge of my daughter Abigail had to close her eyes. It was so exciting when they were in that canoe going over the river rapids,
mm-hmm.
and she didn't even see the part when they land in the water and have to fight off all those alligators. It was amazing stunt work for a man of Harrison Ford's age. He is at least 50 years old and could be retired by now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I actually missed that scene because I was in the washroom, but I did come back. I did come back where he was draping the alligator over his coat like a trophy, and it's
simple dog behavior. Dogs are pack animals, and you have to establish yourself as the alpha. And once you and your dog have fought off some alligators in your canoe, if you don't take that alligator skin and drape it over your coat, your dog's going to do it with his coat. The dog's going to think he's the alpha, and you're going to have to break out some more of the D, the discipline.
Alligators did seem to be a recurring theme in this movie, even if if they were only in that one scene. Like they just keep talking about like, hey, remember the alligators? Um,
Oh, it was a fantastic piece of foreshadowing, much like
mhm.
Mason Verger talking about the wild pigs in Hannibal. It was setting me up for expectations that paid off by the end of that film.
No, I guess you say foreshadowing, and I think that's really interesting because I guess like earlier on in the movie, they're saying remember the alligators when it happens later because most of the movie is a flashback. You know, it starts with Harrison Ford at like 90 years old, and then he's like 50 years old, and then 40 or whatever. There's a lot of
Mm.
like flashbacks within flashbacks, and it works in the movie. Like it wasn't confusing at all the way they did it, but it's a really unusual technique for like a simple story for children, and I thought that was really fascinating.
It can be difficult for a man of my more ripened age to follow, but thanks to my son Kimball, I was able to figure out what was happening after we had a family debrief after the film, as we always do down at the local Harvey's, and he was able to fill me in on the path I'd missed throughout the tale.
Is there anything you think didn't work in this movie?
Mm. I'm remiss to. I enjoyed the. Let me state something here up front, and also make a point before I
Yes.
continue. I enjoyed this film, and I recommend that people give this film a chance, regardless of whatever score we may give it. It is a discussion. It's part of the zeitgeist of the 21st century. This film. I expect they'll be writing books about it, even a novelization sometime later. But I thought it was incredibly out of character. I dare say crass. To have the talking cat sequel hook right after my family had stood up, thinking that we'd seen enough of the credits. We got to the music credits, and we thought, well, that's got to be it. And then this cat. There's the drum beat. The cat comes in and says it's time for things to get wilder.
Yeah. I actually almost forgot about that. I watched the whole movie. I was riveted as the credits were rolling. Um, my wife went to get some more popcorn. I started to fall asleep a little bit in the seat, and then that after
I've
scenes
been
thing
there.
just like came up. It startled me awake, and then next thing we were at the door, and I barely even remember what happened. But yeah, that talking cat was unexpected.
I am happy, and in hindsight, I am impressed that parties involved reached out to parties involved to bring Joe Pesci into the production in that
Mhm.
uncredited appearance. But it was a touch crass, given the, we're not going to spoil anything, given the ending of the film. It was a little bit crass.
Yeah, and I didn't think the music kind of fit the tone that they were kind of go for. It was very like jarring. Like it sounded a little bit like the music from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. You know, the like harsh strings and like the violins and stuff, and like it was just like a cat saying we're gonna go on an adventure, but it made it seem like it was supposed to be horrifying. I'm
They can't resist these jump scares nowadays. The kids
mhm.
all play that video game with the jump scares, and it's infecting our media.
Right, that Roblox bear thing. Yeah,
Absolutely. I am not going to. My time as a professional doctor is worth money, but I'll give you this one for free. Those things shouldn't be out in the public.
hmm. So, anyway, despite that, I think it's safe to say that we both very much enjoyed the movie, and
Mm-mm.
I can't give this movie any less than 3 full points.
Absolutely, three at the minimum.
And so, thank you everyone for joining and listening to our little spiel about this wonderful movie. And I hope you enjoy. Be sure to leave a comment, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me, Atticus.
It was a pleasure as always, and if I may just say, as a doctor with this momentary platform, I really must implore the public who are listening to this, the millions of you out there, make sure you are eating your oranges. You don't want scurvy.
And thank you, and good night.